The man from Rune here again. I know it's been a while, but been busy with life and such, but regardless, I'm here to do the Arnor faction overview as requested by someone in my last video. So let's just hop right into it. I know it's been a while since my last video. There was that short clip of the new Gorthar Word of Power, but as I said, just been busy. And also I was having computer problems, but I fixed those and here we are. So Arnor, let's load up our trainer. Let's go through the powers. We got heal, rallying call, 50% damage for 20 seconds on target units, rebuild, lone tower, hobbit summon, and you got a cool hero. He's alright. He does a decent amount of damage to other heroes. We get a terrain ability, gives 40% armor and resistance to fear and terror. We get this unique passive ability that provides passive healing to Arnor units that are not in combat. We got Bloodline of Kings is a very powerful summon that gives us access to two heroes, which can be later upgraded with one of our heroes from the fortress. We got first stage, army of the past ages, so we can call upon the armies of Numenor. We got the Swords of Westerness. Basically, this makes you just immune to magic, poison, frost, flame, and force damage. And then for our tier 4s, we got Downfall of Numenor, so this is basically a flood ability. Flood does a lot of damage to units, and it also slows any heroes that get hit by it. Then we got Last Alliance. So if you for some reason do not get the Army of the Past Ages first, it'll be a temporary summon for Isildur. Let me just explain what this does first. So you summon Gil-galad, Elrond, Isildur, Elendil, and Anarion, and you get an army of fully upgraded elves and Arnorian units. If for some reason you get this before you get the Army of the Past Ages, it's a temporary summon, but most of the time you'll get first stage first, and then you permanently get Isildur, Elendil, and Anarion. So there's that. Let's take a look at our fortress. We got this music's quite loud. I'm gonna build some buildings while we wait for it to finish playing. Alright, well that was our first stage music. It's quite loud, but anyway. Let me go over the fortress really quickly. So for the expansions, we got pretty standard stuff. We got Trebuchet, Air Tower, Dormitory. If you decommission units of the fortress, they get more money. And then wall hubs. Okay, so for the fortress upgrades, actually, I guess I'll mention this. So this is our Silmaril hero. I'll go over him later. He's a very cool and unique summon or unique hero. So for fortress upgrades, we got the monument, discounts builders and heroes, and then heroes recruit faster, and then also provides leadership. You got the House of Healing, heal units that are nearby the fortress. Flame munitions upgrade our arrow towers on the fortress. Boiling oil, damage enemies really close to the fortress. Palace of the Steward. This unlocks a special hero named Malbeth, as he'll show up in a moment.
I have come from lands far away.
So he's permanently attached to the fortress. When he's initially summoned, you get this, which is a Farsight. It just reveals an area on the map for a little bit. And then if we continue upgrading, we get Stonework. And then we get the Ivory Tower. This unlocks new abilities on Malbeth, and I guess he'll be the first hero we go over.
Trust me.
He's got 4 abilities, but this one you use multiple times to unlock. You use this multiple times to unlock these. So, obviously the map is completely revealed to me, so this is not gonna seem like it does much. But the first time you do it, you gain a vision increase, a temporary vision increase, and then you unlock the next ability. Economic Council. It should unlock in a moment. There we go. And then what that does is basically you get, I think that's, what does it say? Okay, it doesn't actually specify so much, but I got 994 there. The typical farm is 334, so that's probably about 30 times the tick rate of a farm, which is pretty good. And then that farm doesn't generate money for a while.
The choice is clear.
I don't know if this will unlock right away, but I will test it here. So the next ability, it grants a bonus to a hero. So that hero collects gains experience 50% faster, and then so do other heroes and units around him. Okay, this doesn't want to unlock. I'll just be going back to him in a sec to unlock these other ones. And then this last one,
The ring has been dropped.
really simple. Just is a map-wide debuff. It just removes buffs and leadership. It says leadership, but I'm pretty sure it also removes buffs. So yeah. Now let's we'll go over the hero first, or the heroes first. Let's get our 30H heroes.
I, Carthian, stand
So
for the
Carthian,
7 stars.
He's a hybrid scout hero.
Look
I
for
believe he only
tracks.
costs like 600, or no, he costs like 500. Then with the monument, he's a
may
little
be
cheaper.
Stay
So we can
quiet.
switch between bow and sword. At level 2, he summons a
Watch
camp.
this area.
The camp
Stay
is
quiet.
a temporary summon, I believe. Nope. Okay, it's a permanent summon. So it's a permanent summon, and it stealths. I believe it stealths units that are near the camp in like a short radius. So useful for hiding your archers, which we'll go over later. At level 4, he gets kind of a quasi Blade Master ability. He gains 25% damage, 25% attack speed, and if he's not in combat, you can use it to heal faster. At level 6, you can unlock the ability to upgrade your Dunedain Rangers from the archery range and turn them into hill guards. We'll go over that later. I guess we can go over it now, actually. Yeah, I'll just show you real
We
quick.
know these lands.
So when they're, if you upgrade them to hill guards, they gain an armor buff, 25% armor. They gain increased melee damage, so if for some reason they get trapped in melee range, they'll do a little bit more extra damage. And they also gain passive resistance to fear and terror. And the Hail of Arrows ability, that is just arrow volley. Yeah, they gain arrow volley.
Ready yourselves.
I must be vigilant.
It's
And
the
then
ring.
for
Get it,
his last
quick.
ability, last resistance of Cardinal.
Look for
So
tracks.
you activate it. This is level 10.
Go lightly.
So you activate it one time, and you click
They
on
may
him
be
again,
near.
and you get an option of 3 different terrain buffs. So for the first one, Bitter Resistance, he marks an area of land. I believe you get to click on an area, and then if enemies come near it, I believe some rangers are spawned, and then the rangers shoot them. This one's not actually a terrain buff, but he temporarily becomes invulnerable, and he deals additional damage to undead creatures, particularly Barrow White. So that probably means he's actually really good at killing Nazgul too, and the Witch King. And then the last one, which costs 1,000. He summons an area of terrain, and then monsters, Barrow Whites, Werewolves, Ghosts, Morgul Shadows, Castellans, are paralyzed and unable to move. And then, not only that, your allies in the terrain gain 50% armor.
Look for tracks.
So, we will just we'll be selecting that
Be
one.
gone, filth! I will not let you taint the
It's a cool voice
spirits of
line
our
too.
kings.
Okay.
Stay quiet. Watch this area. I must be vigilant. Be alert. You dishonored the souls of our fathers once atop these hallowed grounds. Stay quiet. I will not suffer your foul presence again. Look for tracks.
That's pretty cool. So that's Carthian. Pretty good for a scout hero, not gonna lie. Now, the next hero is Araphant.
I am glad you're safe, my son.
So at level 1, he gains access to this leadership Palantir. And then basically what this does is you pick a unit type, swordsman, spearman / pikeman, archers, and cavalry, and then you grant them a 25% armor and 25% damage. So just pick one, and then you'll grant that units of that type, that particular leadership. It's also map-wide. Yes, on the whole map. You can only choose one. You can switch between it, though. It doesn't... switching the Palantir and picking these doesn't have a cooldown, so you can be extra crafty with it, I guess, depending on which bonus you want. And then...
It is as I feared, then.
At level 2...
For I account your loss.
he gains kind of a special...
Let us
It's
bestow
almost like
the
it's
sun
kind of a
peace.
terrain and a building buff. So he designates an area. It can't have a building on it though. You can't already have something there.
That the people looked upon
Yeah,
us were
can't use it
guidance.
on pre-existing buildings. And then any building that you build there will gain an armor bonus.
I am glad you're safe,
And I
my
believe
son.
it lasts forever. So that can be quite useful in some instances where you put like some statues or wells on a choke point. I believe he gets this at level 5. He gains a mount, or maybe this is level 4, because this is at level 5. At level 5, he grants a bonus to units. They gain, so there's a permanent buff. They gain permanent resistance to fear and terror. They gain knockback resistance, and they also gain experience 25% faster.
I go now to Rivendell.
And then
The
at level
Elrond
8,
half-elf.
he just grants a lot of experience to target units.
You have been of great service to me and the
I
Dunedain.
must be vigilant.
You are a true heir of kings.
So our next hero is Eärnur. He is one of the most important heroes in the faction.
I will lead this army. We must rise up.
So, when you initially get him, he has this Palantir. He gains the ability to choose a different path. Like in, what's it called? I think, or in the lore, I believe, he chooses the path of the Dunedain in the end, but he could have also been the next king of Arnor. But anyway, he can become a Dunedain of the North. He gains a mount. He gains his passive ability at level 3. Heroes in Eärnur's facility, he grants passive healing, and they recharge their abilities 25% faster when out of combat. At level 4, he can select a hero, and he can raise him to the same level as him, so that can be kind of useful sometimes. It does not work on first stage heroes, and it does not work on heroes outside of Arnor.
We are called to honor.
So there is some sort of limit to it. If you do go the path of the Dunedain,
This is our land.
he switches to a bow, and he gains new abilities. So you gain a cripple shot. This just does a lot of damage, and then I believe like enemies that are near it, like enemy units like near the target that got hit by it, also are feared. At level 5, he gains a very powerful self buff. So he gains 100% firing rate and 50% damage. So he can just shoot really, really fast, and he deals 50% more damage, making him insane. Like, you can snipe heroes with him so quickly, and he does a lot too. He does 380 range damage, which is absurd. excuse me, at level 8, he gains this power called Arrow of Fame. So it's a single arrow. You shoot it at a target, and then enemy or allies that are near the site of impact temporarily gain triple damage. So that's pretty dang strong. So this ability down here, once Eärnur reaches level 7, you can commit him to either the path of the Dunedain or the path of the Prince of Arnor, and you gain new abilities depending on which path you've chosen. On another note, if you do choose the path of the Dunedain, you get an upgrade for these guys. So if you go for the
Nothing shall stand before us. We must rise up.
Chieftain of the Dunedain path, you unlock the Faithful of Eärnur ability on these guys. And then they get their own bonuses, such as 25% vision and range, and then permanent camouflage, so they shoot while they're stealthed. And harassing fire, I believe that is bombard.
This is our
But I
land.
might be wrong.
Hurry on.
I'm gonna put him on path of Heir to the Throne of Arnor, and then we're gonna
It's the ring.
go over another ability, because his Palantir changes when he is in and out of combat, depending on which one you take. But we're just gonna show Heir to the Throne.
Forward.
So he still has a mount. He still has this passive for heroes, healing and rechargeability faster. He still has the rate level up hero ability, but he also gets this ability. So he can only use this on 4 heroes: Arfant, Arvidui, Eärnur, and Carthian. So what he does is basically he just if they die, they will cost 0 to revive, which can be quite useful. And then at level 10 he gains restoration, and then yes, so this only affects heroes, and the heroes also temporarily see 50% damage and armor.
Without delay. Hurry on. Without
And
delay.
I'm just gonna send him over
Go forward.
to fight. Oh, just back to Malbeth real quick. See, so the second time you activate it, you gain 800% vision, and that's when you'll also unlock Prophecy.
Our people must survive.
So as you see, when he's in combat, he gains a new Palantir, Prince of Edain. So when he's nearby enemies, heroes gain 25% damage and armor. He gains Charge of the Prince, so he just gains 20% speed and attack speed. And then Blade of Glory, so every time he hits an enemy, heroes near him will cause triple damage for a short time. But he has to keep attacking for the buff to actually stay, because I believe the buff lasts for like 5 seconds or something.
Now is our time.
And he still has the restoration ability.
Without delay. We are needed at the fortress.
Alright, so that's Eärnur. Our next hero is Glorfindel. There's actually 2 Glorfindels. There's also one from Lodris, but this Glorfindel is tailored to the
Let us go.
kind of like the vanilla Rise of the Witch King campaign when it comes to save Arnor.
Follow me. I serve the
Alright.
House of Elrond.
So he has a mount, which I believe he gains even more abilities. Okay, yeah. So when he gains the mount, these are actually on his other plans. So he gains this special ability, Wind Rider, level 3. If he's on the horse, he gains 40% speed, 50% armor, but he can't trample anything. So good for chasing down like heroes, not good for like fighting units, unless you're trying to escape.
This is the way.
He gains this passive ability, so he grants resistance to fear and terror. He is one of the few heroes or honestly anything in the game that actually debuffs enemy heroes. So it causes them to lose 25% damage to armor. And also, if he's near enemy units, he will cause them to like cower in fear very shortly for like a few seconds. He gains a Palantir. He has a Palantir switch, a Blade Master. He gains double damage, 50% armor, and any other skills that he uses while the Blade Master's active gain 25% cooldown, or get 25% cooldown reduction. At level 5, he gains this, which is another Palantir switch. He still keeps this passive. He gains this ability level 5, Light of the Eldamar. So he stuns enemies, and then he replenishes battalion or units in Arnor battalions, kind of like a mini heal, and then it like switches the Palantir back. Level 8, he marks an enemy hero for death. So for a minute, that hero gains 50% armor and attack, but after that 60 seconds, that hero will die. And then lastly, at level 10, he is surrounded by a beam of light which stuns enemy units and heals allied units. So we'll just activate that one.
Let me
Yeah,
show you.
he summons this light around him.
Move quietly.
That's pretty cool.
Follow me. Here. We must be off.
So is on his other Palantir, gets the Palantir revert. He gets this army, or this ability, Army of Eldar. It costs 2,750, but you get a fully upgraded army of Imladris units. 4 battalions. So we got some fully upgraded archers.
Stay on guard.
We got fully upgraded blade masters, fully upgraded swordsmen, and fully upgraded pikemen. And the neat thing about this is normally Imladris units are locked to just 5 units, like in the battalion as a whole, but these units come in doubles, which basically like makes their doubles. Yes, well, it more or less doubles their power level, which is absurd though, because like I said, Imladris units, they're so strong that you're only getting 5, and now you get double, so like that's kind of crazy. And then this ability is you assign an Elf Lord to that battalion, to a battalion. This only applies on the Imladris units.
I shall lead you well.
It levels up the battalion, and it also gives them this Elf Lord, which is a heroic unit.
We must gather our strength.
And then at level 7, he gets this Eagle Summon, and he summons Landreval and Gwaihir, which are both temporary heroes. So for Landreval, so this is a fear effect. This is a constant fear, so it's any units he flies over are constantly feared. But I think he loses speed. Yeah, he does lose speed. Okay. He gains a terror effect at level 3. He gains, he also gets this ability. So any units he flies underneath, or no, allies. Alright, so allies underneath him receive 50% armor. Hostile monsters and flying monsters cause less damage and reduces their vision. This ability and these 2 abilities actually don't work because he comes out at level 5 and this requires level 8 and level 10. As for Gwaihir, he also gains a Screech. He gains the Wing Blast, which just he knocks down units underneath him in an area. And then I don't believe this ability works. Yeah, these abilities don't work because he doesn't come out at level 6, 8, or it doesn't come out at max level. So I don't think these work. Yeah, those don't work. But yeah, basically you get 2 Eagle heroes, and they're really good at killing buildings. They're also really good at killing like strong single elite units, like from Dwarves and Imladris and other factions. And
Something
then
is afoul.
for this ability, we'll go over it later when we cover the when we go over this last alliance spell. But basically, it makes the Elrond. It just upgrades the Elrond from the summon and gives him more powers. So our next hero is Arvedui.
I will represent the men of Arnor.
So at level 1, he gives leadership, 50% armor to nearby allied infantry and cavalry.
Advance! March order! Come with
Level
me!
him up.
Advance! Forward!
Level 2, he gains a Palantir switch. Also level 2, he gains this ability, the Palantir of Illuminus. So you just put this on an allied building, it improves the vision of that building. The building also receives 100% armor for a minute, or wait, 8 minutes? Yeah, for 8 minutes. And you can click on this icon, and you can summon these Guardians of the Palantir, which are very strong elite hybrid units.
Come on, soldier, move it!
You can upgrade them too.
I stand as your king.
So this next ability, or level 4, is a very cool ability. So if Arvedui were to die, or well, first you gotta activate this. You gotta activate this first.
I stand as the king of Arnor.
Okay, so if he dies, Arvedui gets an upgrade, and you can do this, I believe, twice. So each time he dies, he gains a brand new command set here. Like these abilities here will be, well, these 4 anyway, will be replaced with another ability, and they're better. Once he dies the second time, he gains like really insane abilities. So you can do some like really insane stuff with Arvedui. At level 3, he gains 50% armor, and he can also just kind of walk through some units and like insta-kill them.
We must take the fight to them.
So yeah, that's really good. This is not really that useful, this level 5. Basically anything from the inn is 25% cheaper. Arnor has a lot of elite units, like really strong elite and heroic units at the end, so I guess it's kind of useful because they're kind of expensive. And at level 10, he grants a bonus to a selected battalion. You can use it on any unit, I believe. So they gain a permanent resistance to fear and terror, 33% armor, 33% damage. They debuff enemy units, causing them to lose 20% armor and damage. And then, if that battalion dies, they will stun nearby enemy units. So that's just kind of an insane buff to grant. So you make them really strong, and then they also debuff units, and then when they die, they stun units. So also on his other Palantir, we got these 2 really cool abilities: the Ring of Barracks and the Scepter of Numinas. So this works on a few heroes. Most notably, it works on the heroes from this summon, the Bloodlight of Kings. It works on Argaleb and Arveleg. Also, if you summon Isildur, Elendil, and Anarion, you summon the temporary versions. It does not work on the permanent versions. But you also need the ring. You also need Arvedui with the ring. It also grants them unique cool powers. But we'll go over that later from the spellbook tree when we go over the other heroes. Our next hero is Eärnur.
I will go with you to the inn.
Eärnur is probably the best hero in the faction.
Be quick. Don't fall behind.
He's not a ring hero like Arvedui is, or Silmar hero, I should say. He's not a Silmar hero, but he does go up to level 20.
Hurry.
He gains a mount. He doesn't gain any cool abilities though when he's mounted like Glorfindel does. But he gains this leadership at level 1, and the leadership is very, very strong. So in a very wide radius, like I believe like over here even, he grants resistance to fear and terror resistance. And then if they're a little bit closer, he also grants 50% experience gain. And then if they're even closer, like over here, I believe they gain 75% damage. And then units that are like fairly close to him, like fairly close, like around here, I would say, they gain 100% armor. And oh, and did I mention that basically they gain, the closer the units are, the more of the bonuses they gain. So the closer a unit is to Eärnur, they gain all 4 of these bonuses. At level 3, he gains an incredibly strong Blade Master. So he gains 50% damage and immunity to knockback, flame, water, and frost damage. And when he swings, every time he attacks an enemy, he summons a single unit from either Arnor or Imladris. So you can get like Dunedain Archer, like a Dunedain Archer or Imladris like swordsman. Unupgraded though, unupgraded. So you just get like free single units every time he attacks. So that's very cool. He gets the Planter switch at level 4, and then at level 8, he gains this ability where he marks a target. I believe you can use it on like anything. He has to be close, I believe. Okay, no. Oh yeah, you can use it on... Okay, you can't use it on him apparently. But yeah, you can use it on heroes, most heroes. You can use it on buildings. You can use it on units. And basically just anything that's near that target deals 75% more damage. So that's a great way to like surround like anything and kill them. So on his other Palantir, he gains this ability. It doesn't really do anything right now, but perhaps the modder will fix that. Yeah, this doesn't do anything right now. At levels 5, he gains this ability so that if you have a well, basically the well will grant armor. It will grant armor, and it will also heal your allies like twice as fast. So that can be pretty cool. At level 7, he gains this incredibly powerful ability called Duel. So basically what you do is you target a hero. I think you can... Oh, you can use it on units too.
It's the ring. Get
okay,
it,
yeah.
quick.
The description's wrong. You can use it on an enemy unit or a hero. And then any unit, both allies and enemies, so allied and enemy units, are paralyzed, but heroes are not. So they can watch heroes fight each other. So you can do some like crazy stuff with it, and then it also lasts for a long time. I believe that it either lasts for 2 minutes, or I think it lasts for 2 minutes, and then it goes away when either Eärnur or the target hero dies. And then his last ability is a really cool, flavorful ability. So basically, you summon the Witch King of Angmar, a different, or kind of like buffed version, more or less.
Either your lives or your
and basically, you can
wills
fight
are
him.
forfeit. Choose now.
Here, let me use this.
Men and elves will bring an end
There,
to the
you can
reign
see
of
the
the
units
Iron Crown.
being spawned out of him.
Go. My time goes
You can use this
short.
ability on him too. So you summon a level 10 Witch King,
Back, foul thing.
and then all the units that like deal damage to him. Actually, I don't know if it's deal damage or maybe they just have to be close to where he died. But anyway, they gain. What is
Nothing
this?
shall stand before us.
So they level up and they gain 300% armor. So that's pretty cool. I don't think it's permanent. And also, you gotta be careful. Don't use this towards enemies, because if they kill him, they'll get the bonus for killing the Witch King. So yeah, that's Eärnur. Let's get to our last third age hero, Gandalf the Grey.
A wizard arrives precisely when
This
he
is
needs.
another hero who kind of has
Where else should I be?
a doppelganger, I guess. There's also a Gandalf in Gondor, but he is very different for a lot of reasons than this one. So, let's level him up real quick.
A wizard arrives precisely
So,
when you mean.
first off, Gandalf has 2 Palanters. This is actually for the most part the same as his Gondor counterpart. He gains Wizard Blast. He'll randomly put the magic shield on, gaining armor and knockback resistance. He has his lightning sword. He gains this cool ability level 6, which
Tell me, when
he
did
gains
Doyle
10% armor.
and your mother's dishes
And then
become
every
so
time he attacks, he sets the ground on fire. So it's really good against like clumps of enemies, like weak enemies though. The fire's not that strong. And then he gains his word of power.
right?
And then the way Gandalf you empower Gandalf in Arnor is you need this building, the library.
Look ahead.
And then you can buy upgrades. And then he gains new bonuses. So the first bonus is that allied units near Gandalf gain experience 75% faster. The next bonus is that allied units gain 30% armor. The next bonus is units gain 50% vision. And then the final bonus is that allied units are immune to magic damage. And then Gandalf gets a mount at level 5. He gains this ability at level 6. So you gain... Gandalf has the Ring Narya, and he can give one of 3 bonuses. You can give 25% damage and fear resistance, 25% armor knockback resistance, or 25% speed and 50% experience gain. And also at level 8, once you've unlocked all of the upgrades for Gandalf, he gains this very, very cool, flavorful ability called Order of the Astari, where you summon Saruman and Radagast. These are temporary summons, but they have access to a full set of abilities. So for Saruman, you get his Wizard Blast, Fireball. He has a leadership, 25% damage, 25% armor, and fear resistance. He has a level up, and he also gains an industry. He also grants an industry ability. For Radagast, his passive is that he makes units invisible, and heroes too, I believe. While they're out of combat, he gains this ability called Brambles. This is really good against like really weak units, and it slows. It also acts as a slow to heroes or all enemies. Actually, this slows all enemies except flying units. This ability, okay, yeah, it summons birds, I believe. Can you summon this anywhere? Okay. Sorry. So you can summon just some birds like anywhere on the map, and then they're just gonna fly and give you like vision. His best ability though is this. So this basically turns any like infantry or cavalry unit into an animal, and it ignores like a lot of bonuses and buffs. And then okay, that ability he doesn't get. That requires level 10. But yeah.
Or perhaps you mean to say that you feel good on this particular morning.
That's
Stating that this is a morning to
that's Gandalf for you. So the next thing we're gonna do is we'll go over some of the buildings real quick and the units. At the library, again, this ability, Blacksmithing of the Ancients. You buy it, and then you get a permanent decrease when you buy, if you want to buy heavy armor, forge blades, and Arthedain plate armor, which is a unique upgrade for Arnor. That only applies to Arthedain units. Agricultural Wisdom. This is just Grand Harvest from vanilla. All the farms gain produce 20% more resources. We got constructed Numenorians. Anytime a building is destroyed, or an allied building you control, you gain some more money back from, when it's destroyed. And we got Knowledge of Warfare. Permanently decreases the cost of all the 3rd Age Arnor units by 20%. Let's go over the barracks. So we got. Let's just start moving stuff around, I guess. We got the Dunedain units. We got soldiers and spearmen. Arnor units are probably the strongest, just like units you can recruit right away, besides dwarves and Imladris units. These guys have 600 health, and there's what, 5 in a battalion, so 5 units, 600 health each. They gain a shield formation, so they gain more armor. They get standard upgrades. I should probably just build the forge. Yeah, so. They are slower though than a lot of units, so. But not as slow as dwarves. They're kind of like in the middle of like the top tier, like units, I guess. Imladris units are strong and kind of fast, but you only get 5 in a battalion. Dwarves are very tanky, but they're very slow, and you only get 10 in a battalion.
Maintain order.
And the next thing is the spearmen. Let me just get the forge upgrades real quick. Just really standard for Arnor. Banner carriers, forge blades, heavy armor.
Stand ready. Side formation.
Okay.
Watch for the enemy.
The pikemen. They get a porcupine formation, standard upgrades.
Form lines. Ready your weapons.
At level 2, you gain access to Arthedain units, which are even stronger than these units, but you don't get as many in a battalion. You also don't gain You also do not gain forge blades. But you do gain access to Arthedain plate armor, which I'll buy here. Arthedain plate armor is even more powerful armor upgrade specifically for the Arthedain units.
Prepare for battle. Block formation.
Yeah. So these guys, well, these are level 5. Let me see the pikemen real quick. Level 5 at 1200 health per unit. Let's see these guys. These guys have 1000 health right away, and there's 10 in a battalion. They gain a shield wall formation.
Stay together.
So they lose speed but gain a lot of armor.
Stand fast, men.
So yeah, these units are some of the tankiest units in the game,
Come on, soldier, move
and they have a lot of health. And then you also get all the bonuses from Eärnur, Arvedui, and Gandalf, so you can create quite an impenetrable front line with these Arthedain units.
Let's go.
And now we get to our heroic units, the Emon Sul Guardians.
Soldier battalion standing by.
These guys are very, very good. So they're heroic units, they deal hero damage. They also deal splash damage, so they have radius effect on their weapons. And they also grant a leadership, which affects themselves. So they grant nearby allied infantry and cavalry units 25% damage and resistance to fear and terror.
Hurry, soldiers.
And then our last, our other heroic unit is the Fornos Guardians. These are heroic pikemen. They deal heroic damage and specialist damage. You only get 5, but they have a lot of health. They have 2500 per unit. They have a formation, but I don't think it works. Yeah, they don't seem to lose speed, and they don't really change their animation, so I'm almost certain it just doesn't really work. They can go to level 10, just like these guys, and at level 10, they have like 3300 health. Yeah. Not much else about these guys. They're just like very strong. They deal heroic and specialist damage. Very good unit. Now our archer range, we get just some basic Dunedain archers. They get a bombard. They get fire arrows, which you get at the level 3 archery range.
Those at the ready.
You get, what is this, 15 in a battalion. Yeah.
Stand ready, archers.
Pretty good. You can also get these Arthedain archers. So these archers are tankier, as all Arthedain units are. There's less in a battalion. They don't gain fire arrows, but they do much more base damage than the Dunedain archers do. They also gain the plate armor upgrade. They also have a bombard. And their role is specifically to deal more damage towards monsters. So these are very good against monsters. So evil factions, eagles, they're all monsters. Whites. Yeah. Very strong. And they also have a lot more health too. They have 1,000 health.
Onward!
Okay. And then we get the rangers. Kind of went over them already with Eärnur and Carthian. They get a bombard, they can get fire arrows, a banner carrier. Depending on like which route you go, you gain either hill guards or faithful of Eärnur. Yeah.
Ready yourselves. Keep out of sight.
So for the stables, you just get some regular cav and then the shield, knight shields at level 3 barracks or stable. Sorry for some reason.
We rule this day.
Not much about the not much to say about the cav. They're just kind of like, they're pretty much the same as like the Gondor cav from vanilla, but they get horse shields, I believe, and they're skinned for Arnor. They gain a wedge formation, which gives them damage at the cost of armor, and they get standard upgrades.
Ride out.
Okay, we went over that. Siege works really simple. You just get trebuchet and then the firestones for that extra bit of damage. What else? Build a blacksmith. Heroic statue. Just like any other heroic statue, you can build the tower. Or a tower, it's the same as the lone tower. Except it can't. This one can gain units and be upgraded fire arrows. This one can't.
Prepare for battle.
Let's bring those guys back here.
Where do I go with this?
The heroic statue. I guess I don't think this has actually been noted in the other factions we've gone over, but this statue, as for most good factions, reduces the cost of units up to a maximum of 24, so you need 6 statues for the maximum discount. And it provides 25% armor damage for nearby units. So I guess now I will go over the powers. I already went over the lone tower. Rallying call is just rallying call, gives a buff. Heals heal. Rebuild, repair structures. None of my structures are damaged, so I can't use it. Gone over that. This is the terrain ability. It gives armor and fear. Gives armor and resistance to fear and terror. Got the Hobbit summon.
We will win this day.
Yeah, you summon a.
Of the Shire.
I think these guys are all archers. Yeah, okay, these guys are all archers, and then you get this guy, Bandabratuk. He does quite a bit of damage for a hobbit. He can hide, he can switch weapons, but if you have the club equipped, you can gain this ability called Golf Swing, and basically you just do a lot of damage to a hero. I'm gonna skip around a bit. Flood. It's Flood. It washes away the enemies. And also, it doesn't say, but if you use it on heroes, they will get slowed. I think we'll also show the debuff. Yeah. As you can see, the heroes are debuffed. They are slowed. And I think it lowers their armor, too. I don't remember. So, let's now go over... Oh, this one, yeah. This you just use on any units. You can use it on your first stage units. It just grants some permanent resistance to magic, poison, frost, flame, and force damage. So, immunity to a lot of damage types. Can't go wrong with that, on top of the already good leaderships that this faction has. Now, we can go on to Bloodline of the Kings.
Men of the North Kingdom, this day we
So you gain a temporary army,
and
and you gain these two heroes.
I stand as your king. Victory!
Trying to remember something about me. Even if it's only my father's.
Oh, not him. We need
I
Arvidu.
stand as your king.
Okay, we'll send him over here.
March order.
I have a plan.
Okay,
Hear
this
me
guy's
out.
done with his abilities. Alright, Argaleb.
Must take the fight to them.
So, this is a self buff. 45 or 50% damage for 45 seconds. This is a unit buff. Nearby units gain 25% armor, damage, and fear resistance. And then this is another self buff. He gains 50% damage and collects experience faster. He already comes out at max level, but this is for another further along. And then we got Arvaleg. So these guys both come out level 8. I just want to put that out there. Okay, so if he's nearby allied buildings, they gain 50% armor and immune to siege damage. This is a heal that can be used on units and heroes, and they also gain armor but lose speed. And then this ability is kind of is okay, very mediocre ability. All allies gain double vision. Could be good. But the cool thing with these guys is that they interact with Arvidui's two abilities, which I will demonstrate in a moment. So Arvidui can give either Barracks' ring or the Scepter of Eärnur. So either of these, doesn't really matter. The outcome is still the same. The only difference is that the ring the leadership will change. So let me give the ring and the scepter. So whoever has Barracks' ring will grant units damage, and whoever has the scepter will grant units armor. And also, by giving them these upgrades,
Arnor must
it
take the fight to them.
drastically increases the time they're on the battlefield. They're still temporary summons, but I think they last like 10-15 minutes each if you manage to keep them alive, which is great because they gain some pretty powerful abilities. So Argaleb is reset to level 1, but he gains improvements to his abilities as you level him up.
Forward.
So I'm just gonna go max him out real quick.
March order.
Alright, so as you can see, he has these new abilities, or he can choose to upgrade these abilities. So for the power of Numor, so the abilities he had initially, he can upgrade them and make them better. So initially he has 50% armor, knockback resistance for 45 seconds. If you upgrade it, he'll gain 100% armor, knockback resistance, and it'll last for a minute. For this one, instead of 25% armor and damage and fear resistance, it's 33% armor, damage, and fear resistance. And for this one, instead of 50% armor or 50% damage and 25% experience gain, he deals double damage and gains 25% experience, and it's for 60 seconds. So I'm just gonna click on all of these once. I'll just show you briefly that if you upgrade this one at level 3. So at level 3, his self buff is improved again. He gains 100% armor knock resistance, and he debuffs enemy units for 60 seconds. So that's quite absurd. We'll upgrade that. So at level 3, instead of just double damage and experience gain, he also does knockback and splash damage. So I'll just click on that.
Come with me.
Leadership is still the same.
Arnor must stand.
So yeah, you just get these upgraded abilities.
March order.
Okay, these
The
two
ring has
can't.
been
These two
dropped.
cannot be used with each other. The strength of the Edain and the power of Numor. You can only activate one at a time. so that he's not too strong, I guess.
Advance!
But you can activate the
me.
unit buff, which I will activate now.
Men of the North Kingdom.
And it's got the
This
cool
day
sound
we
effect too.
shatter the upstart of Angmar and restore the glory of the Dunedain. To battle! And
No effects for those
victory!
units though. I'm pretty sure it works. I've used it before and I've noticed the difference. So anyway, back to Arvaleg. He goes to level 10. And then you can choose to choose new abilities to unlock. So you gain more defensive abilities, and he gains armor, and he heals faster. Or you can get more offensive abilities. He gains experience faster, which is weird. Here is already at max level when you choose the path. And he causes more damage. Let's go with the defender. Okay, so
March order!
he gains that same like building buff ability where they gain armor and then immunity to siege damage. But he gains 3 new abilities. So for this one, this grants nearby allies. I don't know if it works on heroes. Let's
Come
see.
with me.
50% armor, immunity to being trampled, and they take immunity to arrows, so pierce damage. Okay, this does affect heroes, so that's a very, very powerful ability. You still have the vigilance ability, so sight doubles. And then you gain this incredibly strong debuff at level 10. So archers and siege units near Arvaleg lose 90% damage. Yes, that is an ability. So as you can see, Arnor has so many tools, and I'm not even done yet. We're an hour and we still got more to go. I haven't even showed in the ring hero yet. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. Let's go over the last alliance summon.
Make ready!
So, you gain 6 battalions here of fully upgraded Arnor and Imladris units, and the Imladris units are double road, or double stacked, I guess. So you, we'll go over the temporary heroes first. You gain Elrond.
Must not fall. Onward!
His leadership is heroes of the last line, so specifically these 4 heroes around him, they gain 25% damage and armor. He also gains restoration, so you can do crazy, insane stuff with that.
The shadow must be stopped. Rally together.
And back to the
Evil has spread across
Glorfindel
these lands.
ability, his level 10.
Follow me.
If we use it on Elrond, which is who it's meant for, he gains even more abilities.
Attack!
It is not time
must
for me
act
to
now.
leave Middle Earth.
So, he's not going to be a level 20. These, I guess I should have mentioned, I should have turned off the trainer, I guess. Yeah, he won't be at level 20, and he won't unlock these right away. So, he gains this new leadership. So, heroes near Elrond have higher self-healing and recharge their abilities faster, and then every 40 seconds, all allies, doesn't matter what, will just regain 40% or 25% of their health, which is absurd. Let me just check on this guy. Okay, quick intermission, gotta go over Gilgalad. So Gilgalad buffs the unit's last alliance 50% armor, and then he gets this shield star ability. He gains, what, 10 times more armor, but loses 75% speed. That's it. He has no other purpose. Back to Elrond.
Weapons be true.
He gains the Elrond's Council, which you can use to level up a hero. He gains this kind of a self-buff ability. Basically, it affects your passive, so instead of every 40 seconds to gain 25% health, it's 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds. It's temporary. If you somehow manage to get him to leveled up before he either gets murdered or his time runs out, you gain restoration.
So this is your purpose.
It's just restoration. It doesn't give any sort of buff like Arnor does. And then he also gains this insane ability, which I guess is a bit of a sneak preview for when we do Imladris, the Ringvillia. He summons the Tornado. Yeah. The Tornado is not that great at dealing damage, but it is really good at basically kind of like throwing units around and like kind of just ruining armies. Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to show that cool abilities
We must take the fight to them.
Isildur and Narion and Elendil get when you have its Arvidui with the ring.
As your king.
But maybe another time. Because
I stand as your king.
it'll require me to start, and we still have a lot to do. Maybe I'll show it at the end if I remember. But anyway, let's go over Narion. So, his passive is that he's kind of a well. He acts as a well, and he heals even in combat, which is sick. He gains a self buff at level 3. Oh, by the way, when you do permanently summon these guys, they do come out at level 10, so they'll have all their abilities unlocked right away. Anyway, back to this. His self buff, he gains 100% armor knockback resistance. At level 5, he grants allied infantry and heroes 75% armor, I think, against melee weapons, but less armor against missile weapons. So I believe it's 75% armor against specialist and slash damage, which is swordsman and pikemen, and then they lose 25% armor against pierce, which is the damage type used primarily by archers. At level 7, he gains abilities similar to Arvaleg. This is a heal. They gain armor, but they lose speed, and they don't gain as much experience. At level 10, he summons his bodyguards, which is just 4 fully upgraded battalions of tower guards. So that's kind of crazy.
We must take the fight to them. Arnor must stand.
Oh, let's go over Isildur. So, Isildur grants nearby infantry and cavalry units 75% damage. He gets a Blade Master. He deals double damage and gains knockback immunity, but he will also deal friendly fire. I don't think he damages them. I think he just knocks them away. He gains this fear ability, and then he gains a Blade of Narsil. So basically, it does a lot of damage to a hero. And just between you and me, if you use this against Sauron, he takes like double damage. So yeah, nice bit of lore / Easter egg, I guess. Oh, and up to Elendil. So he grants well, Last Alliance heroes and units, so those units you summoned, and then the heroes Isildur, Anarion, Gil-galad, and Elrond. He grants them 50% armor and fear resistance. He also gains a fear ability. He gains this buff. It says it makes units, melee infantry units of the Last Alliance deal more damage to buildings. I think this works on all units. Not even sure if this ability works. Let me hold on. Let's see if it affects something. Okay, it affects some units. Affects those guys. And then he gets this ability. So this is different than the Isildur's ability. This is actually a weapon switch. So basically, every time when you activate this, every time he attacks someone with a sword, units in like a small area will be stunned for 5 seconds. And then this, units who fight alongside Elendil gain resistance to fear and terror. And then it says it grants Scavenger. The Scavenger does not work. The modders need to fix that, but the resistance to fear and terror does work. And I believe that is it for the spellbook powers and most of the heroes. We'll do the ring heroes at the end. Let's go over the first age stuff now.
Build it quick! It's the ring! Get it! Quick!
We're finished with the fortress.
Okay. So we have the Armenelos, which was the... What is this? Armenelos. I guess this was the capital of Numenor. Oh no, this is a building in the capital of Numenor. Contained the king's house. Okay. Anyway, so let's go over the powers. So, each time this structure grants 5 different leaderships, and obviously, or as you level up, you unlock different ones. So the first one is units and heroes around the structure recharge their abilities 25% faster. Buildings, specifically barracks, archer ranges, and stables around Armenelos gain 25% production speed. All allies near Armenelos heal 3% faster. This is a map-wide bonus. All infantry units on the map gain immunity to fear and terror effects. And then this requires you to be somewhat close to the building. All allied units and heroes gain 25% damage, and they gain experience 3 times as fast. So that's pretty sick. But it does not stack with other leaderships, so this might not work as consistently as one would hope. Let's go over the units this time. So you get Numenorian units. They're elite units. They do have a lot of CP, but for first stage units, you definitely get more. They're also cheaper than most other first stage units. And you get a lot of them. You get 15 in the battalion. They do have slightly less health though than other units, but they make up for it just by their numbers. So these are the crossbowmen. They gain a self buff at level 2, or they gain 33% damage and range, and then an armor upgrade at level 5 like most first stage units. And then we got the pikemen.
Our courage must never waver.
These art designs are so cool. Arnor has definitely some of the cooler art design, I would say. They gain a shield wall formation, 60% armor, 75% speed, or minus 75% speed. Knockback resistance and trampling will be stopped. So they gain a better shield wall than most other units do, and then they gain armor upgrade level 5. We got the swordsmen. These guys are okay. They do gain a unique shield wall formation. There's also 15 of them in the battalion. They gain 25% armor. They lose 40% speed, but they also gain additional armor against range damage, essentially. Crush, pierce, hero. Oh, crush is actually like getting trampled. Hero range and cavalry range damage. So
onward.
That's very strong. They gain an armor upgrade level 5, and then at level 10 they gain. For 20 seconds they gain immunity to trample, and they gain knockback resistance.
Hold fast.
Now let's go over the heroes.
Minions of Sauron end here. May our weapons be true.
I will lead you.
I will fight for our people.
So let's go over Tindomiel first. So she gets a mount at level 1. At level 3, she provides this is a leadership. Basically the healing rate of units and heroes is 10% faster, which is honestly kind of insane. Because basically you'll be out of combat, and then it's like 10. It'll be like 5 times as fast. Like the standard healing buff is 2%.
With haste. This is the way.
At level 5, she gains this ability.
This way.
So this is a paralyzed. This is for literally everything except Valar's. Well, what's it called? Monway, Morgoth, Tulkas, Tarmyron, Ungoliant, etc. Heroes of that nature. Basically, the legendary heroes. Or uber heroes or whatever. So anyway, back to Tindomiel. She paralyzes all enemies and allies in a certain radius, but she can move around. Nothing deals everything that's paralyzed is invulnerable to damage. Tindomiel cannot deal any damage, so basically you can use it as a failsafe. You can use it as a way to trap someone. You can use it as a way to avoid like an AoE effect, like a Word of Power or a Spellbook Power. It's pretty good. At level 7, she provides a buff to heroes. They gain 50% armor and gain experience 300% faster. At level 10, she gains this flood ability. Or it's not really a flood ability. She sends a water ball, I guess, like a horse from like the Bruinen, I guess, and it does quite a bit of damage. We got Vardamir.
Stand before us.
Level 1, he gains a speed buff, 25% for 25 seconds.
Let us make haste.
At level 4, he permanently reduces the cost of heroes by 30%. At level 6, he gains a Blade Master. He gains 75% damage but loses 30% armor for 30 seconds. At level 8, he
We must go. Go forth.
grants allied infantry and cavalry units resistance, 50% resistance to magic damage. And then lastly, at level 10, he provides an incredibly strong passive, which, as long as he's on the battlefield, if you use a spellbook power, it recharges 33% faster.
Victory will be ours.
And then last but not least, we got Eros Tarminyatar, who, by the way, is Elrond's brother, or half-brother. So he has a leadership. He grants leadership, which increases as he levels up. So infantry gain at level 1 gain 25% damage. Level 5 they also gain 25% armor, and then at level 10 they gain resistance to fear and terror, and resistance to crush and cavalry damage. So basically anti-cav. He gains a level up at level 3. It's not as strong as Aerofans, but it doesn't matter. This guy is infinitely better in combat. At level 6, allied heroes recharge their abilities 50% faster around Elros. At level 8, he gains invulnerability for a long time. Like I think it lasts for a minute. And then at level 10, he gains a Word of Power. I guess I'll just go use it on some enemies real quick.
Advance!
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
It's the ring. Get it quick.
While he's running over there, let's put the ring in the fortress.
We must act now.
The One Ring is safe.
We must not delay.
Knights! Rally together, knights!
It's very bright.
Let's go!
May our weapons be true.
Okay, Elros is almost here. I'm gonna show off. I haven't shown like off a lot of these abilities because if I did that, this video would probably be 2 hours long. And this faction is incredibly like intricate. I wouldn't say it's very complex, but it is intricate, and there's a lot of reading. Like I can't show everything. That's how I guess I'll say complex and intricate this faction is.
Our people are in danger.
That's his Word of Power. It's pretty sick. It's also one of the highest like damage Word of Powers in the game. It's higher than
stand as one.
Almost all of them, I believe. So anyway, back to the ring heroes that we finally get to. So we get 2 ring heroes. We got either Arvedui or Valendil. We'll go over Arvedui first, actually.
Riders, ride!
We must take the fight to them.
Let's go get another Silmaril. We'll save Valendil for last, because he's a very unique hero, and he's kind of like...
Back to the fortress.
And he's kind of like... How shall I say this? Immensely broken. Once you see.
Knights!
Okay.
Our friends
I
await.
stand as your king.
Okay. So, these guys would hurry up. We can see Arvedui with the ring.
Arnor! For Arnor!
The ring has been dropped.
I will represent the fight to them.
Alright. Now we have Arvidui with the ring. So on his first Palantir here, we get the Palantir switch. This ability is kind of weird. It's kind of strong. So basically, I believe he makes it so units, yeah, literally no units, whether they're an enemy or ally, can like go near him. But except heroes, nothing but heroes can actually like approach him. But he does lose speed.
Keep on your guard. Take this area.
Okay, these guys can pass through. Not sure what his ability does. Perhaps the modder should like check that. But maybe he just takes no damage from them. Anyway, this ability is kind of cool. You get to level 5. So basically, you can target a farm and just give Arvidui XP, but the farm no longer like produces resources for like 30 seconds. Yeah. At level 7, he gains this incredibly strong ability. So basically, across the map, you can buff your heroes. They gain 25% armor, damage, speed, experience gain, and recharge their abilities 25% faster. But your units lose 25% on all those attributes as well. At level 10, he gains this ability, Melba's Prophecy. Not the same one that Melba actually has. But basically, you use this on a hero, and that hero is just unable to use, or unable to recharge their abilities or gain experience.
It's the ring. Get it.
I believe it also resets the timer of those abilities, so the enemy that gets targeted by it really gets screwed over. So on the next Palantir, this is his Silmaril leadership. So Judgment of the Silmaril carrier. So Arvidui is particularly strong at buffing heroes, while units get they get an okay buff. So heroes gain 100% armor, double damage, 25% speed, and knockback resistance. Infantry and cavalry units gain 50% armor, 50% damage, and 20% speed. So basically, you can just stack all your heroes around Arvidui and just roam around with a bunch of almost unkillable heroes.
Advance!
And then these abilities are literally the same, except if you have the temporary summons of Isildur, Elendil, and Anarion, you can grant them new abilities. But this video is already long as it is, and it will take me much longer, and I have to cut this video down later to upload. But yeah, Arvidui, very, very strong Silmaril hero. Basically makes going heroes like a like this leadership combined with this ability, your heroes are just gonna be like unstoppable. They're just gonna mow down enemy heroes, armies, structures, everything. And now let's get to the last and probably one of the coolest heroes in the game, Valena. Okay, the Silmaril disappeared. I have to go get another one.
Together, knights. Let's go.
I'm on a Silmaril. I hope it doesn't crash my game.
Back to the fortress.
So that is a lot. A lot of Silmarils just kind of stacking there.
Wedge formation. Our friends await.
We must take the fight to them. Regroup here.
We brought the ring back.
Alright, so Valandil. In order to get him, not only do you need the Silmaril, but you also need Army of the Past Ages. So he's a very gate-kept hero for a reason. He also costs 5k, but he's discounted because of Tindomil, I believe. No. Who discounts heroes? Is it Vardamir?
We must rise up.
It is Vardamir, yeah. Vardamir. Anyway, let's summon Valandil. Who, by the way, is one of Isildur's sons, his youngest son.
I will rebuild the glory of
Okay, he didn't want to come out for some
Arnor
reason.
must
Anyway, that
stand.
sound effect plays for everyone, so they'll know that he's on the field. So this is Valandil. He gains 2 Palanters of abilities. He gains some incredibly powerful passives. So at level 1, he grants allied infantry and cavalry units 50% armor, 50% damage, and they gain experience twice as fast. At level 4, he gains a permanent self buff. He gains 25% armor and 25% health. 25% health. So his base health is 8k. Now he basically gains like over 2k additional health on top of 25% armor. And then at level 7, he permanently gains double damage.
The ring has been dropped.
He gets this at level 1. At level 1, he deals double damage for 30 seconds. So basically, if you combine this ability with this passive ability, on top of his already high damage, you can do like quadruple damage.
I stand as your king.
He gains this very, very cool ability. You can turn into a dragon at level 10. Oh, I need to level him up first.
Come with me. Advance.
And I will actually show his abilities in action,
Advance.
since he's a very unique hero.
March order.
We'll just... I wish
Do
there was a
not
way...
fear them. Arnor must stand.
Here. Let me give
Come with
him
me.
Arvidui's speed buff.
March order. We must take the fight
Oh,
to them.
we'll just take his opportunity. So at max level, he is at 17,500 health. This is more than Ring Sauron, by the way. He's also at a base damage of 2,750. That's also more than Ring Sauron, by the way.
I stand
And Ring
as your king.
Sauron is like the strongest
Forward.
hero in the game. Oh, let's just give him a buff real quick.
We must take the
As you can
fight
see,
to
he's
them.
moving quite a bit faster now. So, we just buffed him with Arvidui's,
March order.
with his active buff. So he
must
gains
take the
25%
fight to
damage,
them.
and he's on aggressive stance, so he does 10% more damage. That's now is double his damage.
Ride out and vanquish
He gets his cool effect. Now he's at 7,563 damage. This is more than a lot of Valar's. Yeah, this hero is like
We should
insane.
Never have come here.
He also does he does splash damage. Okay, he does do splash damage, but the radius isn't that
Arnor
high.
must stand.
Let's move Arvidui next to him to give him even more buffs. Now he's at 15,000 damage. We can get more, but this video is already
Die, you
long as it
miserable
is.
creature.
Anyway, let's turn him into a dragon because we can. He can reposition, which, by the way,
Forward. March order.
actually does damage as he lands. And that's basically it in his dragon form. I think he can walk through units. Let me see. Yeah, he can walk through units, and he can also just attack them using fire. He also gets buffed by this. Let's return him to his human form.
Arnor must stand.
So on his other Palantir, he gets a spear throw. The spear throw does a lot of AoE. Yeah, look at that. That is
Never
nuts.
have come here.
Oh, he gains a lightning strike.
Advance.
He is surrounded by a thunderstorm and just kind of like walks through enemies and destroys them. And the thunderstorm also just pulls them near him.
Forward. Come with me. Advance.
I think this works on most heroes too.
Advance.
So you can just like infinitely trap
Not
them.
fear them.
And his final ability is a word of power. Yeah. And that ability will just go ham. That ability will destroy. That ability, if you like combine enough buffs, can actually just insta-kill heroes.
March order. Come with me.
So, that's Valandil, the true king in the north,
I stand as your
he's
king.
called for some reason in his description. He's an absolute menace, beast, whatever you want to call it.
Forward.
He's one of the reasons to play with the ring, even though I don't recommend it unless you're playing against the AI. Also, it just occurred to me that I'm not done yet. I gotta go over the legendary summon for Arnor, which is Great Armament of Numenor. For those of you in the books who are familiar with that, it's our Pharazôn and his basically Numenorean army, which he went to go conquer Aman or Valinor. But then they were trapped by Eärnur, and the world was forever changed. So let's recall them back to Middle Earth. It summons darkness, which buffs all your units.
Our enemies.
And then you basically get an unkillable army of the Forgotten. And you also get our Pharazôn.
Yes.
He's around here somewhere.
Our enemies.
I have too many hero slots. So microing heroes with this faction is like kind of hard because you can literally have like 20 heroes. How many heroes? So this is 14 heroes. You can get like 2 more from here. The last alliance, there's 2 more there. And then there's one, the Hobbit guy. I think it's this. So yeah, you can almost have like 20 heroes on the battlefield. So here's our Pharazôn. He's got 30k health, deals 1500 damage. He has a debuff. Enemy uses armor and damage. Basically, what you do with this is you just kind of go kill armies with this. You can split these guys up. If you've ever used Army of the Dead, you know they just kind of like run through units. These guys are basically Army of the Dead, but infinitely stronger. Like infinitely stronger. They have like 10k health. They don't take damage from anything unless it's hero or magic damage. And even then, they don't take that much. And they also just shred through most heroes. They're actually pretty good against some of the other Valars as well, depending on who.
Knowledge is power. Ill luck upon you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you basically got a cool, overpowered Army of the Dead.
Immortality.
And yeah, that's that is it for Arnor. I can't even show you. I can't even show like everything in the faction because it would be longer. This video is already an hour and a half, which I think is like my longest video. So yeah. But it doesn't matter though. The other stuff it's cool, but you won't really see it that much, and you can explore it if you want. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry it's been a long time since I uploaded something like this, but regarding my new situation, I should be able to have a semi-consistent schedule again when it comes to making videos like this, because I want to do all the factions. So we'll get to that. So without further ado, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, leave a comment down below if you want a link to the Discord. It'll be somewhere. It'll be in the description, and then maybe the comments, I guess. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you all so much. Have a good one. Peace out.